Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host who bleeds purple and gold, Isaac here. It is Christmas in March, ladies and gentlemen. Man, absolutely amazing free agency start for the Minnesota Vikings, man. I am so excited and I am so happy with the guys that we got. Although yes, I mean the Raiders signed Gardner Minshew and Christian Wilkins, the players that I want so coincidentally. But that's okay. I'm still not mad at all. I am still happy about what happened today. The Vikings signed 3 free agents today, all on defense, and one player that got released. So, we'll start off with the free agents that the Vikings signed. They signed they signed they signed Jonathan Greenard, edge from the Houston Texans, a star edge. We signed him for 4 years and $79 million. This guy is an absolute star of a player. He had 32 starts. He had 128 total tackles, 78 solo, and he's in 78 solo tackles. 32 TFLs in his start with the Houston Texans. He's had 4 years, 3 or 4 years with the Houston Texans. I know he's had 3 years. And last season he had a best season, 12 and a half sacks and 53 quarterback pressures. That's the most in his career that he's had. So his last year was absolutely amazing. So I feel like, though, the Vikings are absolutely making this is such a big signing, in my opinion. I am happy with it. And so, and this dude has absolutely great running. He is great getting after the quarterback. He is great with the run. He's basically great with what any edge rusher that you want. And plus, he's also 27 years old. And he's going to, and for a lot cheaper than Danielle Hunter, which this signing told me that the Vikings are going to move on from Danielle Hunter and they have their replacement with Jonathan Greenard. This is a huge signing in my opinion. I like this guy from Houston. Absolute game changer. He's absolutely going to do great things. And also, they got another edge, Andrew Van Ginkel from the Miami Dolphins, who signed with a 2-year and $20 million contract. Another huge signing. I know the stats are not like eye-popping really to most people, but he's had 73 starts all since 2019. So he started with the Miami Dolphins the entire season. 250 total tackles, 156 solo, 17 sacks, 21 pass. And last year, he had a best career with 6 sacks. The stats that I saw of Andrew Van Ginkel really didn't have like the best eye-popping stats that you would see, but I still think this dude is a hidden gem. Oh man, he is a hidden gem for the Miami Dolphins. He didn't get to use them because the Miami Dolphins already had a lot of star edge rushers, and this dude was a depth piece. And then once they moved on from the star edge rushers in 22, and then Van Ginkel got a chance to be a starter, and I think he is the level of DJ Wonnum. I purely feel like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna move on from DJ Wonnum and Danielle Hunter and Jonathan Greenard. I think he can fill in very, very well for Danielle Hunter. I think that's a huge signing. And then Andrew Van Ginkel, I think he could replace DJ Wonnum. I think he can do a good job, really, with what this defense is doing. And not to mention also the other depth that you have behind him. So they're going to move on from that Marcus Davenport, DJ Wonnum, and that Marcus Davenport, and you have the depth behind edge rushers, Jonathan Greenard, Andrew Van Ginkel. You got also Patrick Jones and Andre Carter. I think the edge rushing core is still stacked. I think it is still elite, and it didn't change at all. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, but Daniil Hunter was the best." But okay, I get it. But this Jonathan Greenard is a lot younger and will go for cheaper than Daniil Hunter. So think about that, man. I have a very good feeling about Jonathan Greenard. And also, they also signed a linebacker too as well on defense. They signed Blake Cashman, a linebacker from the Houston Texans, for a 3-year, $25 million deal. I feel like he's going to be good because Jordan Hicks is in free agency. I believe so. He's played 44 games. He had 181 total tackles, 109 solo, 5.5 sacks. Last year, he led the Houston Texans with 106 tackles, and he also led with 56 solo. I think Blake Cashman is absolutely another solid linebacker for this team because linebacker is needed. I mean, because if you're going to release Jordan Hicks from the team, then I think he will do a great job. Blake Cashman will. And I feel like that's just another one of those defensive pieces that Brian Flores really, really wanted. I mean, man. So, I mean, I feel like Blake Cashman actually can fill in pretty well with the linebackers. And they're basically, and from the Vikings perspective, from free agency signings, they are focusing on defense. I mean, it would absolutely make it even sweeter if they signed Christian Wilkins, but I mean, there was no way the Vikings were gonna beat the Raiders, which basically in that case, the Raiders signed him to a $4 million, $110 million. I mean, 4-year, $110 million deal. The Vikings were not gonna beat that at all. Let's just be real. So, okay, I mean, I'm a little bit bummed, but this basically made up this whole free agency made up for it. So I'm quite happy with what we have as far as free agent signing. And one more news, also before I get to the other news, the Packers though, I think the Vikings should be interested in another free agent. Running back Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers replaced Aaron Jones with Josh Jacobs, which is absolutely great. I think this guy would absolutely be a game changer, in my opinion. He can run very well. He can absolutely catch passes and screen passes and get more yards after the catch. He's good at doing that. So, and if that's what the Vikings, if basically that's what you want, if basically you want the running game, Aaron Jones, I think, will be your guy. That aside, Kirk Cousins is finally out of Minnesota, and he is going to the Atlanta Falcons for 4 years, $180 million. That contract is nuts. But thank God this is over, man. I've been waiting for this for such a while, for this dude to be gone, you know? No disrespect to him. I mean, it was just not meant to be, really, with Kirk Cousins. It wasn't meant to be. So, the Falcons, I think, we'll see how the Falcons do with him. But, I am excited, though, that he's gone because there were just more drama than what there was last night. Yes, there was, because he was going to explore free agency, and then the Vikings were in on it too, as far as like bidding, and like, I'm like, this is stupid. Why would you be in the sweepstakes of Kirk Cousins? I mean, because you shouldn't have any conversations at all about Kirk Cousins, but the Atlanta Falcons outbid the Vikings $180 million. So it's been nice basically with him, with the times, but I am glad that they are, because the Vikings are going to get a new quarterback from the draft, and I couldn't be more happier for it. And shout out to Kwesi. I mean, for absolutely for doing these signings like it's no tomorrow. Like, all this news was within like 3 hours, it seemed like 3 or 4 hours. It felt like it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It feels like I honestly feel like a kid on Christmas. And it's March. This is absolutely exciting, man. I am so happy right now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skull.